Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today we're going to be making those ultra popular hot chocolate bombs, but we're going to be making them into ornaments today. You can either just use regular hot cocoa packets that are already pre-mixed, or you can easily make your own pre-mix. Now, I would reduce the amount of sugar that you use just because you've got all that white chocolate surrounding it. The tablespoon of cornstarch is also optional, but it makes the hot chocolate nice and creamy. I think a dash of espresso powder would also really do well in this. I am using white chocolate candy melts to fill my sphere mold, so if you want to use a less sweet option, I say you go for either a dark chocolate, but you will have to temper it, or you can use white chocolate, which also has to be tempered. And tempering chocolate can be a little bit tricky, so if you're just kind of starting out trying to make these, I suggest you go with candy melts. I do love this sphere mold. It makes things pop out really easily, and the chocolate always comes out super shiny. Down in the description box below, I link every single thing that I use that you need to make any of the things in my tutorials, and I have both Canadian Amazon links as well as American Amazon links now, so if you live in either Canada or the United States, you can go ahead and access those really easily, and it helps support the channel. After doing that first layer, I stuck it in the freezer and then I pulled it back out after about 5 minutes. Candy melts and chocolates in general set up really fast in the freezer. And now I'm going in with a second layer of chocolate, but I'm not putting that chocolate all the way down. I really learned how to do this properly. You need to put it to the sides, because if you don't have the proper sides, it's really hard to put the chocolate halves together. A little disclaimer here, I do have an ornament fail with this, but I do fix it. Using my piping consistency for royal icing, I am just piping these little handles which are going to be going on the top of my ornament. After the chocolate has set up in the freezer or the fridge, you can go ahead and unmold it. Now, you don't want to handle your chocolate too much. I would have preferred if I had gloves so that my hands wouldn't heat up the chocolate. So I'm just trying to avoid holding the chocolate as much as possible. Now what I'm doing is I'm filling the cavities of each of these spheres with a little bit of that hot cocoa mix that we made earlier, adding some sprinkles in for a little bit of fun that they're gonna float to the top, hopefully, once I drop that chocolate bomb in, and then I'm adding in some dark chocolate chips. This part can be a little bit tricky, so what you need to do is you need to take your sphere half and dip it into some melted white chocolate and then put it on top. And almost immediately after, you need to pick up that chocolate, make sure you do this quickly, and roll it in the sprinkles. This helps cover up that seam. You'll notice that I also switched hands when I was rolling it into the sprinkles. That's so I avoid getting any messy bits on the shiny part of my chocolate. Now, most of the hot chocolate bombs that I've been seeing have this classic drizzle on it. I'm just doing it really quickly with a fork, but I think for more control and a more perfect drizzle, you should use a piping bag. You guys know me, I always like to go that little extra bit with my decorations, so I am turning this one into an ornament, and I'm just using some royal icing here, but you could easily use white chocolate. It's not showing up that clearly on camera, but I did add some opal sanding sugar to that royal icing. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting this with some silver edible paint. Now you might be wondering, I mentioned earlier that I had a fail with this. If I had let everything dry properly, there wouldn't have been a fail at all with the ornament, but I was rushing, and you make mistakes when you're rushing. So what ended up happening was, because my royal icing wasn't fully dry, everything was flopping over. That's to be expected. So if you're in a bit of a rush, I suggest you use fondant like I am right here, and you can easily stick in that fondant and it's going to hold a lot better. But if you're like me, I don't really like eating fondant, and I'm not sure how well fondant would fare in my hot chocolate itself, so maybe modeling chocolate would be the way to go with this too, but I just didn't have any modeling chocolate on hand. Now it's time to see how the hot chocolate bomb works. I'm gonna stick one of those right into my adorable little cup, and then I'm going to add some hot milk on top. Now the milk must be pretty hot so that you can melt all the chocolate and have everything well incorporated that's inside of that hot chocolate bomb. Then go ahead and give it a really good stir. Like I mentioned earlier, I think the 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of cocoa ratio was a little bit sweet, but other than that, it was really, really tasty. Now let's get into the pricing of these hot chocolate bombs. They're all the rage, so I'm sure lots of people are going to be wanting to order them from you. If I were to do this, I think I would only do it custom for the ornament, and then I would sell everything else as stock. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!